Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play the New Orders Germany. Let us continue on from where we last left off. So what are we doing here? What are we doing? We're trying to get the Italian detente to continue on. Excellent. We got a couple of... Oh, we have like a whole unassigned army here. Do we have any field commanders we can put you in? 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. The answer looks like it's no. So I'm just going to make like a brand new theater for you and hope that it works out for the best. Also, I don't know if the song's copyrighted, so we're just going to skip it. Let us put in you as our field marshal. For our general, let's throw in you. And honestly, where do I put you? You know what? I'm going to put you on the border with Turkey, maybe? Yeah. That seems like maybe it makes sense. Also, I should stretch your line out further now that we have, Oh, but even then, actually, you're not... You're actually spread out a little bit too thin. Do we have a general that can have 5 divisions? Or 5 armies? I thought we had at least one. But he might have been the one that we killed because he was part of the militarist faction. Which would make sense. That he'd be our best general. But we don't need him. We don't need that dork in here anymore. Also, the Kriegsmarine opposes us? Absolutely not. Keep them allied. Unassigned division. Let us assign you over to this army. That sounds great. And how are our foreign policy things going? Operation Condor is going to take another 12 more days until that's done. And that, I mean, that's looking pretty good. What else can I say other than that's looking pretty good? I want to recruit another one of you. The answer is no, because, I mean, it takes actually a surprising long time. The National Fascist Parties prevailed in Colombia. Again, that's kind of... I mean, they're not pro-Americans, but I guess we have that to work for. And we got a better rifles. That's cool. The beginning of the Puupi. Cameras were rolling, reporters snapping pictures who spoke into microphones as crowds of people gathered around the Germania train station to wait the inauguration of the first part of the Puupi. The massive project linked the Reich together through an extensive rail network. Borman wanted the ceremony over with and found the media circus tiresome. Nonetheless, he knew that these events were important, and such commemorations expected. For a project this size and expense, it was important that it was shown to be legitimate and useful. The Amsterdam-Hamburg-Germania line would be the first showcase of this to the Reich and to the world. He smiled for the media as he stood with several other officials of the elevated desk at the station, with gaudy streamers and German flags spread throughout it. It hurt his eyes, but he knew the benefit of putting on a show, and shows needed complimenting speeches, which he gave now. He praised the hardworking Germans who had built it, shook hands with the train conductor who would drive the inaugural ride, as well as with the train staff, all of whom stood solidly at attention as Borman went to each of them, shaking their hands and tried to inject some enthusiasm into his movements. The room placed in front of the station entrance was cut with applause, and he boarded the inaugural train ride with the rest of the officials. His advisors had suggested he ride the entire line, but he was only going to go part of the way. He wanted to do more important things to do. Still, it was a promising start for the project, and which would provide much-needed invigoration for the Reich. So we're going to get some GDP, we're going to get a lot of rail construction here as well. I'm assuming that's probably a good thing for us. What are your 18.4%? Can I get you? Yeah, let's just max all of you out. That sounds fine. I'm willing to spend as much money as we possibly can on this, and I'm hoping we're going to have a great train network. And guess what, people? They love trains. I do hate that every single time we go back into the focus tree, I've got to scroll all the way here. Yeah, let's get an inauguration back to the Italian Empire. The Navy and the Armed Forces are going to be a little bit less powerful, but I think we're kind of okay with that. So you guys, basically everybody is our friend anyways. Yeah, we'll take the armored train next. Help from outside. The two men who entered the Comandante Marco's office were not the standard AAS agents that slipped through the door, and he knew it. They carried themselves in an air that was so often missing from the office that Marcos had nearly forgotten how it looked from amongst the real professionals. Of course, even if Marcos had been less observant, the German egos that adorned their identification would have been giving it away. He raised an eyebrows, he gestured to 2 seats, which they took. Marcos began politely, "My friends, welcome to Iberia. My name is Marcos Arroyo. You are agents Lo and Tiger, yes?" The 2 agents nodded, their eyes traced in the room, floating across the bookshelves filled with files and cluttered desks. "Once again, I offer my deepest thanks to your government for sending such experienced aides. May we see some of your files? After action reports, surveillance, and the like," one of the 2 chimed in. Marcos wasn't sure which one was Tiger and which one was Love. He had handed them some folders over to the men. They opened them up, chattering among themselves. Marcos strained to hear, but soon realized they weren't speaking Spanish, and after a few minutes, they set the files back down. "Now, Commander Marcos, what you and the AA has done here is a start. There's certainly room for improvement. and we will help you get there. Now, where shall we begin? Okay, so we're basically cutting down all of Iberia here. We're gonna get some more experience. I mean, all that sounds pretty good. I mean, I would like Spain to be friendly with us. I would prefer Spain, of course, be more friendly with us than, let's say, the Italians, or just being an outright hostile state. Because right now, Germany and Madrid, we're not really seeing eye to eye. You know, -10, -30. Why do they not like us? The minimum diplomatic interaction. And America's rejected Jamaican independence. Is Jamaica a puppet state of the United States? They're part of the West Indies Federation. Okay. So, is Jamaica going to rebel? I don't know. Probably not. That seems a little bit unlikely. But things are not going completely smoothly in the American sphere. And you know what? I am here for it. Take another train improvement as well. I mean, if we're going to be upgrading our trains, we might as well do in the whole shebang. Okay, so we've got our Casus Belli. Not a Crisis Belli. We got our cipher for the West Russian Revolutionary Front. Sounds good to me. Who will we want to decipher next? Probably Burgundy next. 4,000 days. That seems like quite a bit. Okay, let's see if we can maybe boost that up a little bit. I guess I'm not super surprised that it's going to take, what, 12 years to break Burgundian ciphers? They probably have the most weird shit going on over there. Okay, but there's the Italian Detente. So next we either do more for our industry here. And honestly, it's probably maybe the least interesting of all the things we can do. Billion, corporate solution, the road to the Rome of the North. Consolidate our grip on the Grobson. Does this help us push out the skilled workforce over 95%? Integrate every RK into the network. Poverty rates. I think let's see what the Americans are up to. Before we worry about, I mean, this is already like 18% done. Skilled workforce now 17.1. Slave population's at 18.18. Do you want to extend the line here? Civilian factories at 8. We spent 0.2 billion. I mean, we don't really... maybe this will be important. We'll spend $200 million on that. Sure, why not? It may or may not be important as time goes on. Don't worry about you so much. What do we want to research? What do we want to research? 7.5 years, 4.5 years, 2.5, 2.5, 70, 2.5 years on you as well. Everything is a little expensive. Yeah, sure. Let's get some improved anti-helicopter submarines. Anti-submarine helicopters. Are they any good? Genuinely, I have no goddamn clue. Okay, congratulations, Canada. 100 years, you've done it. I mean, we're gonna last 1,000 years, but those, you know, 100's an okay start. It's an okay start. Free production units. What do I want to spend production on right now? It's a great question. I think this more civilian factory seems okay. We're upgrading all of you. What do you want after this? I mean, schools are looking okay. I mean, even more military bases probably wouldn't be the worst idea. And by that, I mean, let's build military bases all along our border with Burgundy. Not in the Netherlands, though. The Dutch can build their own military bases. I don't want to have to worry about that. It seems that our mission is failed an objective, whether it's due to lack of technological advancements or unavailable budgets. God damn it. Okay, so we failed our operation in Spain. But that's not so bad. That's not so bad. Could be worse, right? It could be worse. 8 NASA capability is at 5. 75 billion, but we need more technology. And you take forever. Once research has been picked, our growth is affected by the size of the budget, as well as previous research already done. How do I increase your budget? Oh, it's already maxed out. Okay, then I can't increase it any more than this. The Transatlantic thaw. The sun finally broke through the clouds, bathing the garden in a warm glow. Borman loosened his tie and slapped his thigh. The bulldog turned around with a growl, stick claws in his jaw, and ran out into the bushes. Bring it back, Adolf! Bring it back! Borman chortled loudly. He's still learning, Baldir. He's a tough bastard like his namesake. Doesn't know when to let go. Borman bent to his knees and clapped his hands together. Adolf emerged from the undergrowth and trotted over, panting heavily. As much as it pains me to say this, the time has come for us to thaw relations with the United States. After all, I'd always planned on a diplomatic trip before the Führer had passed away. And, if I recall correctly, I had planned to join you. Boulder von Schitterix replied. He threw a stick far into the air, but the beagle sitting at his feet refused to budge. Go on, Carl, get it. Ah, never mind. He crossed his arms. My Führer, I would like to help organize the upcoming detente. My English is better than Walter's, and you have a natural affinity for your mother country? Borman injected with a smile, laughing as young Adolf jumped up to lick him. Though no warmth emanated from his voice, request denied. Walter will organize the upcoming conference. You have internal political matters to deal with. You know how South Americans are. If you get involved, they'll make you face the detente. Carl suddenly snapped his head around and barked viciously at Adolf. The bulldog yelped and cowered behind Borman's feet. Borman cursed and swung a kick at the beagle, which cried out in pain and ran off. Keep your fucking dog in check, Borman snapped furiously. Von Screw's face turned dark red, but he nodded in silence. Onwards with the detente. So the dog. So our dog has bit Borman. Well, I guess Maxine, I guess. Well, are we Borman? I guess it depends on how you want to view a Hearts of Iron 4 campaign. But the beagle does not seem to think that you're all motorized. Where are you guys? Oh, you're on Serbia? That's fine, actually. That's fine. Oh, okay, so our generals have arrived back from Finland. Honestly, no big deal. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, Cryptology is done. What do we want to do next? Great question. I mean, we could just keep going more. Now you're only 1900 days. Okay, we'll keep on going with this. Again, will Bulgaria and Serbia become a country we can influence at some point? Again, Serbia being this little socialist star in the middle of Europe, I don't think that's something that we could really tolerate. What are you? You are rival between revolutionists and royalist. Resurgent nationalism. I mean, it would make sense for us to probably push away into Serbia. Does anybody have claims on this territory? Hey, we got a new operative. I'm guessing the CIA is probably just like the default symbol here. Understood. Hey, we got plus 25 experience as well. Immediately, we're going to hire ourselves a new recruit. Experience 50%. Now it's at a 95%. And we have so much command power that I'm really never worried about this, to be honest. Also, what am I researching here? I chose you for something. Modernize FM. More experience. Political power gain. 5% missed success chance. The Opium War. Is Laos in a civil war right now? Potentially, yes. Potentially, yes. Let us go with... I mean, we have to take all these anyway, so let's go with... We'll offer some concessions to the United States. The interview. Richard Dudman adjusted his bow tie nervously. This interview would either propel his career into the stars or send it spiraling into the dirt. Fortunately for him, the Nazis had provided a comprehensive list of topics to avoid. Oh, how grateful he was for those bastards and their documents. He couldn't wait to engage in a whole hour of fucking Nazi propaganda. What were the alternatives? Say something out of line and end the interview in an instant? Perhaps even damage US-German detente before it had even properly begun? His journalistic thirst had forced him to accept the interview, a decision he had quickly grown to regret. Heil Borman, came a voice. Dubman shot to his feet as the saluting midget approached. The man was squat and burly, with a plain, round face. This was the Fuhrer? He looked like a butcher who had suffered a midlife crisis and joined the Boy Scouts. Dubman raised his own arm in response. Heil Dudman? He responded. Borman's eyes flickered to his adjacents. Amusement? Anger? A chill ran down his spine. This is no local butcher. He had to remind himself. This was the butcher of Europe. The Fuhrer sat down opposite him, joined by a bespectacled translator. Thank you for agreeing for this interview, Mr. Borman. What do you hope to achieve in your upcoming conference in Stockholm? Führer Borman. Borman's translator corrected with a false smile. Well, Mr. Dudman, I wish to improve Germanic-American relations. The time has come for the ice to thaw. The upcoming conference is a gesture of my diplomatic goodwill. So, Führer Borman, Dudman trailed off. The uniformed Nazis around the room were staring at the journalist with polite smiles and burning eyes. A pang of inspiration hit him. These Nazi bastards could control the interview, but they couldn't control how the American public perceived it. Dudman grinned. Another hardball for you, Führer Borman. Do you have a pet? What about your favorite color? 10 plus flight experience. So I'm going to say the Americans are probably not going to take favorably to this interview. Mainly because it looks like we are being asked bullshit questions. And that's because we are. Okay, let's get another army ready to go. We'll just assign you here for now. Okay, that seems fine for the time being. Again, not that I'm really afraid of a Russian invasion. I do believe that they have to unify all of Russia before they even get the possibility to invade us. So yeah, they need to kill West Siberia, they need to kill Central Siberia, and then the government of the Far East. I mean, hopefully, I'd have to say, probably the Central Siberian Federation probably would be our best bet. I just feel like they're the ones most likely to be neutral in a conflict. But I mean, they're also the only ones officially backed by the Americans. The West Siberian Republic, they're liberals, well, conservatives. They're not really backed by the US government. So maybe they would just unify Russia and then do nothing, which I'd be okay with that as well. But I do think that at least right now, with the first steps towards American-Germanic relations kind of improving, it's going to be a good time for us to end this episode. So if you enjoyed, thumbs up. Not enjoying, thumb down. You want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.